Well, I'd like to address what our brother was referring to earlier about the spiritual connection uh, with the mother. You know, it's pretty a broad conversation amongst the indigenous people where I gather that, we are not separate from nature. You know, we are nature. And right now, the general consensus amongst indigenous leaders is that mother is very ill right now. And so we feel that she's in the fourth stage of an autoimmune deficiency because we look at the human beings as the mother's immune system. We are the last bastion of defense against whatever's going on, and we're also the immune system against what's going on. And so right now, folks are attacking each other just like the cells in the body. So she has all the symptoms of an autoimmune deficiency. She has convulsions, she's dehydrated, she has chills, she has fever. So we don't really refer to it as a climate change. We are referring to it as the condition of an autoimmune deficiency. Any person would be the same way. We also introduced that concept, that reality, to the fact that all the pharmaceuticals that are ingested by the people and the other animals of this world are all wind up back into the precipitation cycle. So not only is she ill, but she's on every pharmaceutical that's been produced. So it's amazing that she has any idea of coming and going. And so the climate is changing. We notice animals showing up late for dinner, or they're showing up too early before the food is there. The fish and the ocean and all the rivers are suffering because it's all one thing. And I was reminded by a Sangoma in Zimbabwe that, you know, we're all in this together. We're all riding on the same rock, and that we're following this dwarf star through interstellar space at unprecedented speeds. So people say you can't step in the river the same place twice, when in fact you can't breathe in and out the same place twice. We're moving so fast that people sometimes are at the effect of this motion, and it seems to be speeding up. When we take into account that time is measured by how much radiation enters a molecule over a particular time, it all becomes kind of experiential. So at the end of the day, what we consider to be our spiritual responsibility is to conduct ceremonies and rituals and rites of passage at an unprecedented speed right now, because if we believe that at the core everything is vibrations and energy and frequencies, we can look at that and say, you know, that we need to raise the frequency, we need to raise the vibration. They were looking at the frequency of the COVID virus, for instance, and it vibrates at a frequency somewhere between 5.7 and 20.5. We looked at the frequencies of various emotions. The only frequencies that humans produce that are in that same range are hatred and fear and anger and all those baser emotions. So we need to raise that vibration so that people walk around with forgiveness and mercy and compassion and love and joy and enlightenment in their consciousness. If that is taking place, all the animals are already there. It's the humans that seem to be lagging behind in this mission to see us our people. I'm from the Muskogee Nation, and the forest keepers we are. The Anikusa tribe is the peaceful people that care for the forest. And so what we say is that at the prayers and the ceremonies and the rituals that take place, that we can actually raise the vibration and be part of this great healing that's going on. Because what we have kind of thought is that we just forgot. And so we're going through this period of forgetting. And now I'm so excited about this conversation and what everyone is doing, because it's very evident that we're remembering now. We're part of this great remembering where we come together and realize that we're all in this together. And if any of us are hurting, we're all hurting. And if any baby doesn't have a place to sleep, no baby has a safe place to sleep. If anybody's in prison, everybody's in prison. So it's just one thing. And so that's a very difficult concept for most people who have these delusional ideologies about who they are. Anything other than a human is ridiculous. We believe that in the beginning, when the Creator put us here, we were shepherds, we were stewards, we were caregivers. We took care of the place. That was the mission. We were the ones who animals looked to, other animals, the four-legged people, the tree people, the flying ones, the fish. They all looked to us as the caregivers, the one who was tending the garden. And so, but somewhere along the way, we forgot. And we started getting into these delusional ideologies about, I'm not, one thing they can say, well, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a this, I'm a that. And they seem to have forgotten this human aspect of what it means to be a human being. So our thrust of the last while is to instill into the hearts of all of those who have the inclination to emerge, to go into that place and exercise this compassion, this love, this concern, this forgiveness, this mercy, this oneness. In our language, we don't have a word for other. Like if I say it's just me and you, and somebody says, what about all the others? And they say, well, on this planet, it's just us. It's we, it's our. There is no I, me, and mine within this concept of all of us being in this together. So it's very much a spiritual process with the mycelium. And we know that the earth conceives. We are in effect walking through creation. Something's being born every breath we take. There's life coming all around us. And we're part of a universal process that's everything is alive. All the stars we can see us. And they're sending us light all the time. It's not just coming from that dwarf star, it's coming from all the stars. And our elders tell us the light carries the energy and it carries an information. And this information is all about loving the Creator and loving one another. All the four-leggeds, all the tree people, all the water people, everything on this planet is alive and well and has a mission to perform, and as we do too. And so that's been our thrust. And so that's why I travel to all these indigenous places, is to do ceremonies and kind of keep this ghost dance alive, that, that we will be the healers. We're all the healers, and let's help each other find the medium within which we can express that healing process to its fullest extent. And that's what I believe is what's happening with these circles and with these communities and with URI and all the folks that are involved with it. I think no matter how we articulate it and what kind of poetry we use, I believe that's the goal, is to bring us all together into one theme so that we can protect our mother and find a way to sustain ourselves to keep this dream alive. I've learned so much. See, I have honeybees, and I protect these honeybees, and we have about 600 hives right now. And I learned so much from these bees. I mean, they sing to the flowers, and the flowers open up, and then the flowers give them this pollen, and then they take this pollen back to their hive. And within this pollen is the dream of life yet to come. Everything is captured in these seeds, like an acorn dreams of being an oak tree. Each grain of pollen carries 30,000 processes of flowers. It's such an amazing process, and I'm so enriched by these honeybees who sing and dance their way through lives, and they're only here for a short time. But it's not each one of them. It's the lineage. It's like, if I don't do it, my baby will. If my baby don't do it, their baby will. And so that keeps this process alive that they have more DNA than any other food source on the planet, except for possibly seaweed. Seaweed carries the memory, bee pollen carries the imagination. So I believe if we remember who we are and where we came from and can imagine a beautiful future for all of our babies, that there's a process that has the possibility of bringing us a continuation of this incredible dream that we're all involved with. And I want to thank you for putting this together, because it's a beautiful thing. And I've just really enjoyed this conversation and listening to all my family talk in this way. Thank you.